there is a tremendous amount of media fragmentation that is essentially needs data to inform how you attack and plan and buy media nowadays. So you need to know what channels perform for you, what content performs, what type of segmentation, what messaging resonates with your clients, with your segments. And that's, you need advanced data for that. You can't depend on age and gender anymore. And people are seeing that there, that is coming through loud and clear, but that's our goal at Experian, is to provide that type of data and partner as well with people who have that type of data to provide marketers much more information, because of the fragmentation that exists is so pervasive that, and it's frankly, it's harder than it used to be, especially for television buying and planning. And but you need that data to the advanced data to make those choices and make those planning decisions that are just vital to be effective.
So Brad, getting a little bit more into the weeds, how do you work with partners, either on the programming, on the buy and the sell side, to make advertising more effective?
We provide three basic things to our partners in the TV ecosystem. We work with TV operators who are selling TV networks, measurement partners, OTT, CTV partners, generally who are selling TV advertising. And so we provide data, advanced data. We provide linkage and identity services, and we provide measurement services. So especially attribution after a campaign has run, to prove that that was an effective campaign and help inform future campaigns. So that's the three things, again, primarily on the sell side, but we certainly work with a lot of media agencies as well to help them, plan and measure their campaigns.
So Brad, when you speak to programmers, what is sort of the top of mind for them now in terms of what they want from you guys?
It varies by the type of inventory they're selling. All right. So for instance, a TV network, they need to understand, to essentially profile what the type of audiences that are watching their content, so that they can explain that to the buy side. So advertisers want to know who's watching, NBCU content. NBCU would look to us to help them understand those audiences so they can explain it to their customers. So we're supporting them. For the TV operators, like a Xandr or a Dish, they want to be able to provide any audience that their advertiser asks them for. So we have those audiences for them. They know they can come to us and find whatever they need in terms of data, and then help them measure it on the back end, again, to prove to the advertiser that this was an effective campaign. So it is, and then there's also a lot of folks who use our data as part of their overall solution, whether it's a TV planning or TV buying solution that uses, for instance, ACR data, but they also need other data sets to mix in with that TV viewing data. We help them with that.
We've been focusing on this series around DMAs and New York in particular, and I'm curious about how you guys work with advertisers who are keen. New York is known for its affluence, diversity, and influence. How does targeting fit into your work with the buyer sell side around a DMA like New York?
Yeah, a DMA like New York is fascinating, and I often recommend advertisers who are looking to get into a targeted video advertising to start with New York, because the diversity of the audiences that they can target and see how those audiences respond, you can get all that you need in the New York DMA. So there's the diversity that helps see responsiveness. Second is, let's face it, there is an influence. If you can get your attitudes and behaviors out that you want to the New York audience, there is some influence that is pervasive to the national market. And then I also just say the New York Interconnect team, we've worked with them a long time. They're just darn good. They just know what they're doing. So it's good to have a team that knows what they're doing to walk you through it if you've never done a lot of addressable TV before. So highly recommend that team.
Related question about attribution, and I think in our conversations, Brad, over the year, it's been largely around, targeting, identifying the right audience. How do you see sort of the maturity of data and attribution, making advertisers exploratory use of it? How does an attribution sort of mix changed?
The attribution has changed, certainly from many years ago. It was just simply a Nielsen report that was based just impressions. But yes, things have changed a lot. There's a lot more sales data. There's a lot more industry data about transactional impact. There's impact on there's location data to show foot traffic. Even if someone didn't buy, you can tell, did they come to the store that you wanted? We're tracking a lot of web activity. So if somebody saw the TV ad and then went to the website, we can demonstrate that. That's very important to advertisers. There is, and then the attribution by type of content. So linear ads versus addressable ads versus digital ads. Advertisers want to see the impact of all those variables, and there's a lot to that now. So it requires much more rigor in setting up the methodology. So we work with a lot of agencies who are setting these up, as well as brand advertisers, and it's much more thoughtful. It's a little bit more work, but I would say for advertisers, you can set yourself apart from your competition by putting in that rigor and laying out the methodology in a very analytical way.
Now, Brad, a lot of changes, obviously, since the pandemic and consumer behavior, which has been moving to OTT and has been changing around a lot. From your standpoint at Experian, what are some trends during this pandemic that you're seeing in terms of TV usage and sort of where that's going? Could you share with us some trends you guys are seeing?
Yes, it's no surprise that there's a lot more connected TV viewing, a lot of more OTT viewing. That's way up. I'm sure you've had many people on here talking about that with better stats than I. I will say, Experian broadly, we have a global insights report, and we talk about obviously just online activity is up 20% globally. One thing that I noticed, grocery shopping, online grocery shopping is up 41%. And also the car shopping. There's a lot more online car shopping. So 61% of people say they're interested in buying a car online now. So that's way up since the pandemic. So these are the kind of things that Experian does kind of track globally as well as in the United States. And we see that in TV, that essentially people are using OTT, CTV devices for TV viewing, and that's just only going to continue. So it is more fragmentation of the audience, which again makes it a little tougher for the marketer. But that's where you think it's definitely where it's heading. It's going to continue on and on. So no surprise there.
And Brad, finally, I wanted to, ask about, some thoughts about where the data industry is going. I know we've touched on some of these topics, but as we look at, to 2021, what are some of the most important things advertisers can do to maximize their ad spend? What are they looking for? How are they going to maximize? And particularly time when budgets are under review.
Yeah, Andy, that's a good point. Budgets are being scrutinized like never before, and it is so important to spend those dollars wisely. I would say there's a couple things. One is advertisers need to use advanced data to do their planning. So in other words, talk to the media sellers about the audiences they have in advance. They should be able to provide them a lot of information about their who's watching those shows for those sellers. So do advanced planning on who's watching. Second is determine a robust methodology for measurement. So determine beforehand how you're going to measure success for these campaigns. It's very important to do that early on. And then a third, I would say, is spread around your media ad spend more than you had been. So spread it maybe a little thinner, but wider, so that you can then measure what works. So that's on the back end. You're going to get a lot more data points. You're going to see what pops using advanced data. And again, on the back end, you would use that advanced data to see in those measurement reports, and then determine what is your measure of success. Is it sales? Is it web activity? Is it impressions? Is it store traffic, foot traffic? All of those data points are available to folks now. A lot of people don't know that, but but it's important to know what you want to measure, and you can be assured that there is data out there now that can measure that for you. So by doing those things, you can be very precise, and then you can essentially buy what's only really effective for you. Because in the past, you might say, well, we bought this, didn't work. Oh boy, didn't know. We're going to try this. This is a much more precise way of determining what your next buy will be. So that's worked for a number of advertisers we've seen, and I think it's going to become even more important in the future.